We're going to go straight on because he got a golden buzzer from Simon Cowell in his audition and then another one from Amanda Holden during Saturday night's semi-finals, which means that singer Matty J is heading to the Britain's Got Talent final.
Have you ever given everything you had in a moment?
2026, the Britain's Got Talent Series 19 final aired live, and by the time the broadcast ended, millions of viewers across multiple continents were left with the same uncomfortable feeling. The most talented performer in the competition had not won. That feeling wasn't misplaced sentiment or sour grapes. It pointed to something real and structural about how the show actually works, and the story of Matty Juniosa's fourth-place finish is the clearest illustration of it in the show's recent history. 10 acts competed in the final for a prize of £250,000 and a coveted spot at the Royal Variety Performance. By the time Matty's final performance had ended, all 4 judges delivered a level of praise that rarely happens with such unanimity on that panel. The judges gave him a standing ovation. Alicia Dixon, reflecting on his performance, made a comment that in hindsight revealed far more than simple praise. She essentially acknowledged that while the judges loved him, she wasn't entirely confident the public vote would reward him the same way. Her instinct proved correct. When the results were announced, the Hawkstone Farmers Choir, 34 farmers and agricultural workers from Chadlington, Oxfordshire, were named the Series 19 winners, becoming the first choir in the show's history to claim the title. A drone collective called Celestial placed second. A dog dancing duo, Anastasia and Salsa, placed third. Matty Juniosa, the only act in the series to receive 2 golden buzzers, finished fourth. The reaction was immediate and global. Search activity for Matty spiked dramatically across the Philippines as the results came in, and social media lit up with fans across the UK, Southeast Asia, and the diaspora communities who had followed his journey closely throughout the season. To understand why this result generated such a strong reaction, and why it wasn't really a story about an unfair loss, it helps to understand exactly who Matty Juniosa is and what brought him to that stage in the first place. Matthew Juniosa was born in Mandaluyong City in Metro Manila, in the Philippines, and grew up immersed in music from an early age, performing as young as 5 or 6 years old. He has spoken about his deep admiration for artists like Beyoncé, Aretha Franklin, Christina Aguilera, Stevie Wonder, and Tina Turner. In 2019, he competed on the first season of Idol Philippines, reaching the top 12 before being eliminated. He later became part of a vocal trio called Idols, which released music under a major Philippine entertainment label before disbanding in 2022. That same year, Matty relocated to Glasgow, Scotland, where he began building a theatre career while working part-time as a waiter to support himself. His stage credits grew steadily over the following years, including a role in Kinky Boots, an appearance in The Hunchback of Notre Dame at the Edinburgh Fringe, a role in Naja, and his professional theater debut in 2025 in a production called Oscar at the Crown. He was building a genuine, working career in musical theater in a country that, for the most part, did not yet know his name. His Britain's Got Talent audition aired on March 28, 2026. Before he sang a single note, he asked Simon Cowell whether he watched Star Wars, then replied to his own question that he was too gay for that, a moment that instantly disarmed the room and set the tone before his performance of Prince's Purple Rain began. The performance itself earned immediate praise. KSI told him his personality was outstanding and that the moment he took the microphone off the stand, he became a superstar. Cowell called it the biggest reaction the judges had seen from anyone that year. With the audience already chanting for the golden buzzer, Cowell pressed his, sending Matty straight through to the later stages of the competition. Before performing, Matty had also told the judges, on camera, that he had spent years carrying the fear that he would always be remembered as a singing competition loser. That moment of vulnerability, paired with the strength of the performance, helped the clip travel quickly across the UK, the Philippines, and diaspora communities on multiple continents. His semi-final performance, on April 25, 2026, at the Even Tim Apollo in London, closed the show with a rendition of Aerosmith's Dream On, accompanied by a gospel choir. Alicia Dixon called it effortlessly sensational and described it as a masterclass in vocal delivery. What followed was a moment that, in retrospect, foreshadowed exactly what would happen in the final. Amanda Holden revealed she had specifically asked producers what would happen if she didn't use her live golden buzzer that night, and was told it would go to a public audience vote instead. She declined to let that happen and pressed her golden buzzer for Matty herself, sending him directly to the final and making him just the fourth act in the show's history to receive 2 golden buzzers in a single series. Her decision wasn't simply enthusiasm, it was, by her own account, a deliberate move to protect his place in the competition from a public vote she wasn't certain would go his way, particularly given the popularity of the dog dancing duo also performing that night. That same dynamic returned in the final, except this time there was no golden buzzer available to correct for it. The Britain's Got Talent final operates as a live public phone vote, open exclusively to UK mobile numbers, in which every act effectively starts from zero the moment voting lines open. Every golden buzzer, every judge's standing ovation, every viral clip from earlier in the series counts for nothing once the final vote begins. This isn't a secret or a hidden technicality, it's how the show has always worked, but it carries enormous consequences depending on where an act's support base is actually located. Matty's most passionate, most vocal fanbase was distributed across multiple continents, the Philippines, broader Southeast Asia, the United States, Canada, and beyond. Filipino entertainment outlets had been covering his journey since March, and diaspora communities had rallied around him with real intensity. But none of that support could be converted into votes, because the voting system only accepts UK mobile numbers. No matter how large or devoted his international following was, it was structurally locked out of the one mechanism that decided the final result. By contrast, the Hawkstone Farmers Choir brought 34 individual members to the competition, each connected to extended families, neighbors, and agricultural community networks rooted entirely within the UK. Their story carried a message about mental health awareness in farming communities, a cause that resonated deeply with a specific, mobilized segment of the British public. The choir had been founded in 2024 with support from broadcaster and farmer Jeremy Clarkson, whose television series about farming had built one of the most engaged fan communities in recent British broadcasting. Clarkson was visibly emotional in the audience when the choir's win was announced. There is no confirmed evidence of any improper coordination behind the choir's win. Claims that circulated online suggesting votes were exchanged for incentives were never substantiated by credible sources, but Clarkson's public association with the choir, and the scale of his existing UK fanbase, represented a significant, legitimate structural advantage that had nothing to do with the relative quality of any act's performance. Perhaps the most telling detail in this entire story emerged a full month before the final even aired. On April 30, 2026, the official Jesus Christ Superstar production account announced its complete cast list for the West End revival at the London Palladium, running from June 20 through September 5, 2026. Billed alongside lead performer Sam Ryder was Matty Juniosa, cast in the role of Annas, one of the production's antagonists. The professional theater industry, producers, directors, and musical supervisors staking real financial investment on a multi-month run, had already made its judgment about Matty's talent and commercial viability before the British public had cast a single vote in the BGT final. That distinction matters enormously. A televised talent show final is a 2-hour exercise shaped by community loyalty, regional voting access, and whatever a viewer feels moved to do with their phone on a given Saturday night. A West End casting decision involves a fundamentally different kind of judgment, professionals committing significant resources because they believe a performer can deliver consistently, 8 shows a week, in front of paying audiences over several months. Both forms of judgment are legitimate. But only one of them is actually measuring pure talent and professional potential without being filtered through the structural realities of a UK-only phone vote. After the final results were announced, Matty posted on Instagram that he had placed 4th on Britain's Got Talent, noting the date happened to be Beyoncé's birthday, and expressed genuine pride in his run on the show. He credited the experience with giving him the energy and determination that helped him land the Jesus Christ Superstar role. In effect, he had already converted his Britain's Got Talent platform into something many BGT competitors, including past winners, never quite achieve: a substantial, paying, professional theatre career on one of London's most prestigious stages. Matty Juniosa did not lose the Britain's Got Talent final because he was outperformed. The judges' reactions across his audition, semi-final, and final performance were as consistently enthusiastic as any act has received in the show's recent history, and Amanda Holden's deliberate decision to protect him with her golden buzzer in the semi-final makes clear that even the judges understood the structural risk he faced heading into the final. What determined the outcome was a voting system built around UK mobile numbers, facing an act whose most devoted support existed largely outside the UK, competing against an act with a deeply rooted, geographically concentrated UK fanbase and a high-profile public champion. It's a result that says less about Matty Juniosa's talent than it does about the mechanics of a national phone vote in an era when an artist's fanbase can be genuinely global.